Good evening. I'm John Kotarski with Michael Kelly, and you're watching Hometown Movies, a new public access show for and about movie makers.
This is a series of programs that we've recently begun to focus in on filmmaking here in the Flint area. There are a lot of people doing this kind of work, most of us without any public attention. So we're taking the public access channel to get some of these films out where the community can enjoy them, and we can talk a little bit about filmmaking and with the filmmakers and the challenges that they face and the difficulties and the thrill of victory and agony of defeat. A little later in the program, we're going to have a telephone number and an address to contact us if you would like to present some film work or video work on the air. And we do encourage any of the filmmakers or video makers who are watching tonight to contact us, because if you don't, the series will have a short run. Our guest tonight is an old friend of both of us. His name is Mark Friesen, and John, I'll let you introduce him.
Well, good evening, Mark. Welcome to Hometown Movies. Mark is an independent filmmaker, as well as a graduate student at the University of Michigan and a teacher at U of M Film School, as I understand. Is that correct, Mark?
Yeah.
And a juggler and a farmer and a husband and a father. You wear several hats.
One at a time.
Yes. Well, we want to talk about the filmmaker's role. How did you get involved? I really don't know. How did you get involved in making films?
Well, reluctantly. I had always been interested in live performance, and several times I'd rationalized that I didn't even want to be involved in video and film, that the people involved in that seemed too narrow-focused for me, and I was more interested in the live angle. So I'd been a clown and done a lot of stage work. And then I came to realize that the only people in live entertainment, particularly stage work, not so much variety performance, were people who were kind of out of touch with reality, and that people that didn't really care about making a living, because it's very difficult to make a living at stage work. So I thought it might not hurt me to have some ability to deal with television people, because any time that I ever had, I just didn't understand what was going on. So I decided to get into this film and television program at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. And it's a very generalized program, so it allows you to touch hands-on kind of stuff into pretty much every aspect of television and film. And if you burn your fingers, then you can pull out fast and move on to something else. I've tried as much as I can to do a little bit of everything. And probably more film than television, whereas other people do more television than film.
I like the fact that you include television, videotape, and film, kind of, you know, in the same way. A lot of people are very elite in terms of the image, their importance of the image being on film as opposed to magnetic tape. How do you sort of balance the two? What do you feel is?
The principal difference between television and film is that film can pick up subtleties of light, and at this point in time has a better resolution, but video is moving ahead at great strides, so in another 10 years probably the resolution will be equal. I don't see any particular increase in the technology as far as the video to pick up subtle light differences, so it looks like film is here to stay. A lot of people in video say, no, film is a dinosaur, it'll be completely extinct in 25 years. So here we have two proponents of either side.
I have a question about you on the idea. It's interesting you raised the idea about as a performer, and you and I have both done a lot of stage work as well as some video and film. The idea of reality and living in another world. Although the theater participants or performers may be living in another world, do you feel that sometimes we've reached a point in our society where video creates an artificial reality, where if your image is on the television screen, then you are real, but the person next door taking the garbage can out somehow is not real or is less real than this video image?
I've had experiences where that came to me like a sudden flash of God touching me on the head, where I'd be in a dark room and everybody's eyes would be trained on that bright tube, And I'd realized that the TV was so much more real because I couldn't even see the other people in the room. So certainly I think that it's affecting our sense of reality.
Do you see any negative social
well, sure.
results from
People
that?
don't interact the way they used to. I don't think it's as far-reaching as a lot of people would like to say. I think that in the end, people talk through their television shows. They turn on their favorite TV shows, and then if they haven't seen a person in a long time, then they yap away and they say, "What was that show about?" So I think that's interpersonal relationships.
Well, people are saying that the video screen itself is going to be a much greater part of our lives when it marries itself with the computer and becomes interactive, and when you can when you can digitize an image and you can have random access to that, that it will change. It will change television. It won't be just entertainment.
I don't think it'll ever completely replace the burn barrel, though. There's nothing like standing around a burn barrel with a couple of your buddies and swigging a few cold ones down on a cold night and watching the bright glow in a dark space.
So do you watch a lot of television?
Well, more now than I used to. I rationalize it. I'm teaching dramatic writing for television and film, and it's very easy to flop down on the couch and say, I need to study this night court to see what makes it work so that I can...
May have more to do with the fact that you're working regular hours and have a child. That tends to constrict one's creative activities sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. Before I was married, and I was also in college at that time and didn't have a television. It seemed wonderful to not have a television because it was never there to tempt me. And someone gave me a television and I said, do I have to keep it?
Yeah.
And then I found that it was a nice voice to turn on when I came home and there was nobody in the house, just to turn that voice on and have somebody to not talk back to me, but to be there.
Yeah. I can remember the same...
Here, let me get this in.
The same experience of all the way through high school and college, not having a TV. I mean, it was there down the hall in the basement if you wanted to go find it. But I find now people make references, cultural references, and I'm left out. You know, I've never seen My Mother the Car, but you know, things like that you just don't fully understand.
Oh, there's so much on TV. Some of my students asked me about if they could write for Married with Children, and I had never seen it. I thought it was a soap opera.
That's the one show I watched. There we go.
And they've written some terrific Married with Children scripts. I'm amazed at what they can come up with.
Well, about your teaching, now, would you recommend that if someone wanted to make movies, that they should go to school, enroll in U of M Film School, and learn the process first, and then do a student movie, and then get out and make a movie? Or
U of M's not what you call a film school. They have a film program. My program is called Telecommunications, and it has two semesters worth of classes in film. So that's, in order to be a film school, you pretty much have to study nothing but film for a year and a half or something to call it a film school. And you really need to be dedicated and know that's all you want to do with your life in order to get into one of the film schools, which are expensive and a lot of work, and then you shut out the rest of the world. U of M telecom program is nice because it's something, it's a graduate program, and it's designed for people who've decided they don't want to be French majors or math majors. They want to check into something else, but they're not exactly sure what they want to do. And so they wanted something where they can find out about a lot of things, which is what this program does. It makes you a generalist, makes you overqualified for almost anything, except for possibly teaching. But then you could make your way into New York and California and tell them that you didn't have a master's degree, you had a bachelor's degree, and you would be employable. You'd still have to stand in a long line because those are horrible businesses to break into.
Well, and about